Hi. So let's talk hips. So what are we going to learn today? Basically, how to help relieve your pain and proper function of the hips for pelvic floor. Basically, we know that the deep hip rotators holds up the pelvic floor. All right, so you're going to learn how everything is connected. So we need these deep hip rotators to for better function of the pelvic floor. Now, what happens when they're tight or overactive? So basically, we won't have proper function of the pelvic floor, so the diaphragm and pelvic floor won't work as well together. You're going to have a lot of hip pain, tension. It could be either of these, basically, for you to work hip release, sciatic pain, all that stuff, okay? If you sit down for a car ride or you watch a movie and you feel your tush go numb, or it's like it needs to be massaged a little bit and a little bit sore. So basically, these are all signs that that you need some hip release, okay? So what should you avoid if you do have super high, tight hip flexors, rotators, is anything that's banded. Okay, so I know we all love mini bands, but until you relieve all that pain and tension, you should avoid creating more tension or any external rotation. So anything that you have to push against a band or an external rotation like a clam should be avoided until we fix all the proper functions of the pelvic floor, the core, and the hips, okay? So would you need a lacrosse ball or tennis ball, foam roller or towel, and a soft weighted ball, all right? So here we go. The first thing we're going to work on is going to be a stretch, just in case you don't have any balls. And then after there, if you do have the balls, you could continue with the capsule, okay? So a simple hip flexor release is going to be just a little stretch, a 90-second stretch. So what you're going to do is lay on your back. All right, so what you're going to do is bring in your knee towards your chest, okay? So what we want to do is shorten the muscle so it's not working, so you can relieve the tension, okay? So from here, maybe I feel a little impingement, right? So what you want to do is bring it as close to you as possible, find your jam. You could maybe do a slight external rotation. So find your soft spot where you feel absolutely no pain or tension. Once you find it, some people might be more in an external rotation and some more internal, straight. Okay, so I found my jam. And now what you want to do is simply stay here for 90 seconds. Minimum. If you want to stay longer, you go for it. Okay? So that's a simple stretch that you could do that's really going to help in releasing your hip flexors. Okay? The other thing that I want you to really focus on is that you want to shorten the muscle, right? So if your comfortable spot is here, we're not working anything, right? We're still, you want to shorten the muscle by bringing it closer. Okay? Find your jam where there's no tension, no pain. We hold it, and then we slowly release. The last thing you want to do after a hold that long is just dropping your leg, okay? So nice and patient and be kind to our bodies, okay? So you could do that on either leg, and like I said, daily, minimum 90 seconds. So really 3 minutes of your life isn't that hard. Okay, next, ball release. So here is my lacrosse ball. If you have a lacrosse ball or a tennis ball, that'll work. So now what we're going to do is release the 3 points. So basically, if you have a lot of tension in your lower back, the glutes, so like I said, if they go numb and such, and an overactive pelvic floor, anything tight, releasing the hip area, sometimes from the back, our glutes, is going to make everything sit better, so our pelvis can sit better, so everything can function properly, okay? And if you're not sure, just test it out and see what you got. So now we're gonna go for 3 points. So you have your sit bone, so basically right under, we'll start there. Then we're gonna go mid-glute and then just right under the sit bones, okay? So you have the bones at the top here. I'm keeping it simple language here, and then we've got our sit bones, okay? So we're gonna start from that point all the way to the connection to the side of our leg. So place the ball at the top. Again, we're speaking simple language. We're not going to get fancy. And then you're just going to roll to the connection. So basically, if you don't know, raise your hips all the way to the end. So you're going to feel like where your muscles connect. You want to go all the way till the mid, side, okay? So I like to do this about 10 times, and then I'm gonna go to the mid glute, just a little bit lower. Oh yeah. Sometimes we think that we're working certain glute muscles, but it's actually the piriformis. So it's actually what sits under the glute. So we tend to engage those before our actual glute med or max or whatever it is. So it's important to release and to understand our trainings. Oh yeah. Okay. It's a natural fault that we can make, so it's all okay. So under our top bone, mid, and under our sit bone. Okay. Then with our foam roller or towel, what you can do is again just lay on that connection, the joints. And you could just release it. This may be painful, so you could actually, if you're on a foam roller, you're not working leg, can actually be bent, so you could take off a bit of body weight. On the towel, it's less because it's soft, okay? So keep releasing the sides. So now you're gonna go mid-glute to the hips, and just a little bit lower. And again, just roll side to side. It can be painful. Even with a towel, it's painful for me. All right, and then you're going to do this both sides, obviously. Now the third one will be with, I have a ball about yay big. You do not want to use the lacrosse ball or tennis ball. It will be painful. So what you want to do is find your tailbone. Okay, so your coccyx, and what you want to do is place the ball right under, not on, but right under. So find that your coccyx, tailbone. You're going to sit on it, right under. So move till you're under. Once you're under, move the cheeks out of the way. And you can simply sit there and feel the release of your hips actually pulling apart. It's wonderful. I've done this once a week, and I've seen a tremendous, tremendous difference in my overactive psoas muscles and such. I'm going to keep that for another day. Okay, so basically I have a lot of tension in the front. Releasing the hips will allow my hip bones to sit properly, the pelvis to sit properly. so everything else can fire on top of it. Okay, so once that releases, I know it's very painful to start, but once you got it, you got it. I don't think sitting on a towel is going to be deep enough, and the lacrosse ball will be probably too deep. All right, so slowly start to move back onto your forearms, and then you could go onto a foam roller. Don't lose it. And then you could just lie here. This is your goal. And you're really going to feel the hips fall to the side and release. This has been magic for me. And anyone that has lower back pain, like I said, or overactive, that your core can't fire properly anymore, can just be a sign of tight hips. So test it out and see how you feel. Again, to come out of any posture, you're really going to, let's see what we, all right, so try it out and let me know what you think.